coaching your kids, this may be the most exciting thing that's ever happened to me. I started off my coaching career coaching football at Texas A&M. And as a player who had played against Texas A&M and had the privilege of beating the Aggies a couple of times, they weren't really excited when I came on their football field. But it wasn't long that I became great friends with the kids on that Texas A&M football team. Later on in my career, I started coaching high school football when I moved and started doing the summer camping role in my life. But I learned some things about coaching. And maybe you're going to get to be a coach someday as well. But coaching, number one, is to be the greatest encourager on the field. The coach I worked for at Texas A&M was named Gene Stallings, a very good friend of mine who, of course, won the national championship with Alabama. But one day I was talking to Coach about his coaching career, and he's had a great coaching career. And I said, Coach, what was the greatest coaching year of your life? And he said, it had to be the Cowboys in '75. Now, he coached with Tom Landry for 15 years after we coached together at Texas A&M. And I said, what was so special about that team? He said, 12 rookies made the team. He said, that's pretty good. And he said, we made the playoffs. I said, how'd you do it? He said, we decided as a coaching staff that our motto, our job, our theme, our focus was to encourage every player all the time. Now, you probably didn't think that went on at the Dallas Cowboys, but it did when Tom Landry was there. To encourage these 350-pound defensive linemen. Now, folks, if it works for them, think how much better it works for a little peewee guy on the peewee soccer team. I've also coached peewee, and that philosophy worked through my heart as I coached my little peewee team and the high school team. And you know what, though? The funniest thing about coaching to me was, and all the fun things I got to do, was coaching my own kids. I got to coach my daughter in volleyball. And if you have a son or a daughter, you're really probably the most important coach in their life. And we had a ball together learning how to serve that volleyball through the years. I got to coach my son in basketball, just home at night. He'd find a ball and I'd find a goal somehow at 7, 8, 9 o'clock, 5 o'clock whenever I got home. And I had the joy of standing under the basket for 5 years watching that little knock-kneed little fourth grader who couldn't even really run to the ball very good, much less pass the ball or shoot the ball. I had the privilege of standing under the basket and catching over 100,000 of his shots in 5 years. And you know what? He didn't make the NBA, but he and I became best friends, and we're best friends today. When you get a chance to coach and you want to be the encourager in their life, not the mean, hard-hitting, some of the things you see on television, it'll be the greatest job in the whole wide world. Just be sure, remember, that the number one job as a coach is to be an encourager, be the best encourager in their life. A lot of those kids have never had anybody say, I'm proud of you. If I was your daddy, I'd be proud to be your dad. I speak in the National Football League, and kids will come up to me, players before those Sunday afternoon games, and every time, often with tears flowing down their faces, I'll throw my arms around their neck, and I'll say, I'm not your daddy, but if I was, I want you to know I'd be the proudest daddy in the world to have a boy just like you. And they'll go out on Sunday afternoon, and they'll play their guts out because somebody spoke love into their life that no coach had ever done before. You're a coach that speaks love in their life. You'll change their life. Whether they win or lose, they'll feel like winners every day.